Invite viewers to post their location and local time. The Charleston heat presses against the old stained glass windows, and inside, the air feels thick enough to chew. Anna stands there in her too formal blue hand-me-down dress, braids neat, hands clasped, skin catching the colored light, just so like she belongs in the frame, even if the principal is already trying to crop her out. "I can speak 7 languages," she says, and for a second the room sounds like someone pressed mute on the world. Then the scoffs and low chuckles ripple in. One boy's laugh, clipping sharp as scissors. Principal Hargrave leans forward like she's insulted his ancestors. "You can what?" he says, stretching the words like they might snap. He checks her admissions folder probably just to enjoy the pause before asking where a child like you could have learned that. She almost gives him the Professor Dad story she's used before, but no, this time she tells the truth. "My father is the night watchman. He works the front gate." You'd think she'd confess to robbing a bank from the way the room exhales Simeon coughs loud on purpose. Another board member smirks. And Hargrave does that snort half-laugh people say for things they've already decided are beneath them. He tells her flat that Whitstone Academy doesn't take her kind. The phrase isn't written in the handbook, but it's hanging all over the walls like old wallpaper you stopped noticing. Anna feels her fingers curl. "Because I'm black?" she says. He doesn't flinch. "Because you're not from our world." Andy lets the silence finish the sentence because she's poor. Now, historians still argue whether a single moment can rewrite a person's trajectory, but it's hard to deny this one tries. She steadies her voice, thinking of her dad's rough hands packing lunch, her grandma's gentle tug on her hair ribbon that morning. Then, without waiting for permission, she starts one language, then another, the sounds rolling through French vowels, Japanese consonants, Swahili rhythms. The smirks dissolve. Even the chandelier seems to lean in. When she stops, she doesn't beg. "I came to learn," she says simply. Outside, her father leans on the gate in his Navy uniform, eyes tired but sharp. "They said you couldn't," he murmurs when she steps out. "But you did." And somewhere between the gate and the old pickup truck, she realizes this wasn't just an audition, it was the first brick thrown at a very high wall. Monday lands heavy with fog, the kind that makes the oak trees drip and the school's marble steps slick. Anna walks into Whitstone's main hall in her thrifted skirt and secondhand shoes, clutching a backpack that's more library than style. Eyes track her like she's a comet passing through silent, maybe beautiful, maybe dangerous. In homeroom, whispers bloom. Gate guy's kid, parrot girl, can she really talk all those languages? By lunch, she's eating alone under a magnolia tree that looks like it's been listening to secrets for a century. Then comes the announcement Founders Day speech contest. Winner speaks before the whole school, board members included. In years past, it's been all legacy kids and debutante diction. She doesn't raise her hand, but that night the blank page stares at her until she fills it. She writes about honor, not the plaque and crest kind, but the sort you earn when you show up where you're not wanted and do the work anyway. She turns it in without ceremony, but when the acceptance list comes back, her name is there, tucked under a title, the quiet kind of honor. The day of the speech, the auditorium smells like polished wood and ambition. Caleb Thornhill goes before her, tossing around words like legacy and heritage with the ease of someone whose blazer cost more than her month's rent. Then it's her turn. She steps up, finds her father in the back cap in hand, eyes steady, and begins. "Honor," she says, "isn't in titles or portraits. It's in showing up every day in a place that doesn't want you and refusing to shrink." For a moment after, the silence is so thick you could slice it into bricks. Then the applause starts slow, growing, undeniable. Even Miss Whitaker claps once, though you can tell it pains her. Of course, the next week is different. The same kids who clapped now avoid her eyes. The same teachers who praised her poise skip over her raised hand. Hargrave calls her in, slides a stack of complaint letters across his desk. "You're upsetting the balance," he says, like she's rearranged the school's furniture without asking. Maybe cleverness doesn't equal belonging. Historians still argue whether institutions change faster from pressure or persistence, but Anna decides to try both. She tutors younger students in French, cleans the language lab, corrects a teacher's Swahili with a smile. The whispers don't vanish, but they lose their teeth. By the time she finds a blue-taped note on her desk, don't stop talking. She knows she's turned a corner. Not because they've accepted her, but because even those who'd rather not listen can't pretend they didn't hear. Spring drapes with stone and blossoms and the smell of fresh-cut lawns. But beneath the prettiness, Anna keeps finding cracks. A custodian named Mr. Dorsey shows her a locked room in the West Wingold servants' quarters never marked on the school's maps. Inside, dust-coated boxes hold ledgers, letters, even drawings, all from black staff who worked here during segregation. Groundskeepers, cooks, nannies, people who knew the school's heartbeat but never made it into its official history. One page from 1948 reads, "Denied access to the staff lounge. Paid 42 cents an hour. Still, we keep the place standing." Anna pitches an exhibit beneath the floorboards to honor those voices. Hargrave doesn't endorse it, but he doesn't stop it either, which in Whitstone terms is practically a green light. With Mrs. Rivera's help and a grant from alumni funds, the East Gallery transforms. On opening day, Anna reads aloud the name Agnes Cooper, housekeeper, who once wrote, "One day someone will say my name out loud." Anna looks up and says, "Agnes Wiri," saying it now. The applause isn't loud, but it's deep, the kind that hits the ribs. Soon after, Rivera hands her a wax-sealed envelope, an invitation to speak at the U.S. Department of Education's Youth Inclusion Summit. In Washington, she tells a packed room, silence is not neutrality, and visibility is not power unless we use it. The applause, there is immediate, real. Back home, her photo joins the main office wall with a brass plaque. Anna Johnson, student, speaker, catalyst. By year's end, the portrait hall has a new section plaque after plaque of unsung heroes, including one for her mother, Lena Johnson, archivist of hope. Anna's fingers trace the letters as her father stands beside her. "She made it," he whispers. "She always did," Anna replies. At the final assembly, Hargrave, stoic as ever, hands her the headmaster's award for courage, truth, and legacy. She tells the crowd, "This award isn't just about me. It's about everyone who was told they didn't belong and showed up anyway." Later, someone slips her a note taped to the back. "Justice doesn't knock. It waits." And you open the door. The summer sun is warm when she leaves Whitstone for the last time. Backpack light, except for her mother's scarf and a notebook of names. She doesn't look back at the gates, not because she's leaving them behind, but because she's left them open. The wind down begins like a soft exhale. The clamor of assemblies, debates, and whispered resistance fades into the gentle hush of a campus between seasons, where the air is scented with cut grass and the faint sweetness of blooming magnolia. Her steps slow as she moves away from the stone buildings, each one still holding pieces of the story she rewrote. Somewhere behind her, the portrait hall catches the afternoon light, brass plaques glinting like they're breathing. She knows those walls will outlast her, that future footsteps will pass and pause, reading names once buried in dust. The road ahead feels wide, not because it's free of obstacles, but because she's learned how to walk it without bowing her head. In the quiet, she can almost hear her mother's voice, steady and warm, telling her to keep going, to keep speaking, to keep making room. The gates stand ajar in the fading light, and she disappears beyond them with the ease of someone who no longer needs permission to belong.